Hey BookTube, it's Fee. Today we're talking about The Great Hunt, which is the second book in the Wheel of Time series. And any doubts that I possibly had in my head about if I wanted to continue Wheel of Time were completely shattered because I am hooked. I'm going to give a very quick spoiler-free review at the beginning of this video, and then we're going to talk about all the things that I thought was cool, and there's going to be spoilers, and it's going to be awesome. But don't worry, you'll get fair warning if you'd like to skedaddle before I start talking about spoilers. So this book picks up where the Eye of the World left off. We are in that borderland town that's sort of near the Blight, and everybody's on edge. We know that something special happened at the end of the first book, where it seems like we resealed all of the dark guys, and everything should be okay. But it's not. Duh, if everything was okay, we wouldn't have a 14-book series. It would just be one book. Basically, this entire book is about Rand trying to come to grips with the whole he's the Dragon Reborn thing, and he's not having it. He's like, I'm just a country boy, I'm just a farmer. And it's like, no, you're not, you're the chosen one, deal with it. So Matt and his friends go on the Great Hunt to find the Horn of Valir, because whoever blows the Horn of Valir is able to summon heroes from the past in order to fight in the great battle that's coming. And if somebody who's evil blows the horn, those heroes are going to fight for the dark side, and that's going to be bad. Plus, we have unfinished business from the last book, where it's like, hey, is Matt going to make it? Like, what's going on with him? And of course, we don't know who we can trust. Are people that we've known forever Darkfriends? Or am I a Darkfriend and just don't know it? You know, it's kind of that book. But this book basically just hits the ground running. We have the political intrigue. We have all those things that I just talked about going on. And it is a wild ride, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So if you have any sort of doubts about continuing on with the Wheel of Time series after you read the first book, do it. Tell me down below, like, what's keeping you from doing it, and I will convince you to keep reading the series. I'm excited, y'all! So now we're going to get into spoilers. So if you don't want spoilers, like, share, subscribe, come join me once you've read this book, and we can talk about it in the comments down below. And actually, if you haven't read the book yet, don't go to the comments. Just don't. Spoilers. So I personally despise the Seanchan. They just seem like they're evil and have something going on. I really don't like the way that they treat people that can channel, and I don't like the whole, I forget what the term is for them, but the people who wear the collars and are controlled by the people who have the leashes to the collars. I just feel like Egwene, when she had to go through that, I was like, hell no, this isn't going to happen. I am going to break you the first chance I get. But I think the book did a really good job of showing that even though some people are like, oh, why don't you just do this? Why don't you just say hell no and run away? That there are actually like barriers to getting people to leave situations like that. I think that it's something that we need to understand more as applied to more social situations that I am not prepared to talk about in this video. But thematically, that was a really good thing to throw in there. Also, I really love the part where Rand basically had to burn all his clothes, and now he just has all the fine clothes, and it annoys the crap out of him. I think metaphorically it totally makes sense for the book, because it's like he can't go back. He can't just put on his clothes and run away and go be a farmer again. Or a shepherd, excuse me. There's going to be somebody in the comments that offends. I just know it. But even though Rand is basically the Dragon Reborn, even if he doesn't believe it himself, things are changing. His relationship with his friends are changing. His relationship with everybody who goes around the world is changing. He walks into that one city where everybody's just like sending him letters and being like, who is this guy? And he's just like, I don't want to be part of the game. And he really has no choice. He has to play the game. Like, honestly, I don't think that I would have played the game any better than he did in that book. And I felt like that made it very, very relatable. Even though he's supposed to be this chosen one character, it's like, what would you do in that situation? Probably worse. Probably worse. And then Selene is all sorts of sketchy. She's beautiful. She seems to want to push Rand in a direction that he doesn't necessarily want to go into. And she also has a lot of magical powers and seems ageless. She's like an Aes Sedai, but with an edge. And I don't trust her. Like, not at all. I don't know at what point in the series. I think there might have been some hints at the very end of the book that she's probably really, really bad news. But I don't trust her as far as I can throw her. And I know she's coming back. So we're going to have to deal with that, aren't we? Also, from the very beginning of the book in the prologue, you see people from all walks of life, especially like nobility and Aes Sedai and people from all over the world who have positions of power and how they're Darkfriends, and that just like scares me. It's like, who can you trust? Basically, as a reader, I have no idea who I can trust in here. I know that the sisters in the White Tower are supposed to be good, and that all Aes Sedai are, well, good might not be the right word for it, but they're supposed to be sort of on the side of the Amaryllis Sea and on the side of Rand, and that is clearly not the case. And as we saw when Egwene and Nynaeve and Min and Elaine all got tricked into going to the Seanchan and either getting captured or having to rescue the ones that got captured. Very high stakes from the very beginning, and I'm really interested to see how the girls adapt to their position and get back to Tarvalin and deal with the fallout when they get there. Also, I don't know whether Elaine is like the best of characters or the worst of characters, because on one hand, as basically being the daughter heir of Andor, her going into a dangerous situation is really, really stupid and very short-sighted. But on the other hand, she's a teenager. She wants adventures. She finally has friends that don't really seem to be playing power games with her and don't really see her as a princess so much as a person. And that's a very compelling thing to make you want to put yourself in danger and protect the people that you love. But it's also like not strategic, and I feel like somebody who grew up in a royal court would probably be trained to be more strategic about this type of thing. Plus, like, if she gets captured, like, what can she do to help her friends? She just seems kind of naive about the whole situation. I feel like The Great Hunt had a lot more scope and a lot more going on than The Eye of the World did. And so we've been able to sort of expand the world and go with some more world building and understand how things work a little bit better. So, because now I actually have something to go on, here are some predictions for the third book. I think that our White Tower novices are going to have to figure out who's good and who's evil when they go back to the tower. And if they don't get kicked out or stilled or anything, I don't know like how they're going to do that. I don't know if they're going to get stilled and then they'll be servants because nobody pays attention to servants. I don't know if they're going to be forgiven and put on a secret mission. I don't know if they're just going to run away and try to figure out their studies on their own and avoid the Aes Sedai because they're wanted people at that point. I think there's a lot of different ways that the story could take their particular timeline, and I'm all for it. I want to see what's going on with them. I really expected Rand to be the one to blow the Horn of Valor, but it ended up being Matt. I'm not quite sure how I feel about that. Maybe it's just to keep him, make him be more important, or maybe it's to set him up for something later. Or maybe it's just to give him plot armor, because after all, the wheel weaves as the wheel wills. Plot armor riding crutch confirmed. But after that battle, it's kind of hard for Rand to like ever be in denial again about the whole being the dragon thing. And I don't know how the rest of the world is going to deal with it. Apparently the White Cloaks are not very, very happy about this. They were going to be happy anyways. That's just who they are. But I think that they're going to be even more dangerous and annoying than they were in the first two books. But it's also weird because if you go right down to it, the Children of the Light, the Aes Sedai, Rand, like they're all on the same side. They all want to fight the Dark Lord even though they don't realize that the other people aren't evil. So there might be a surprise they all come together at the end and some people redeem themselves, or the Children of the Light just like screw things up because they can and just like allow us to make the series be longer. I don't know, like what do you think? So at this point in the video, I have just read the first two books. I'm actually in the middle of the third book right now, but please keep the comments related to just what happens in the first two books, or speculation without spoilers for, you know, people like me who haven't read more in the series yet. And if you like what I do and want to see more Wheel of Time stuff, then you should join the Caffeination. Hit the subscribe button, turn on all notifications, you know the drill. Like, share, subscribe on all your social media, and if you think that I suck at this whole thing, leave me a comment down below and I'll try to suck better next time. Bye.